Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Are you interested in making your next trip to Paris easier, more relaxing, more welcoming, and definitely more fun? Then keep watching. This is the video for you. My husband and I tabulated that our most recent trip to Paris this past spring was our 7th. He lived there as a boy, and he's definitely effectively shared his passion with me. Every year we visit, we tend to add 2 favorite restaurants to our favorite restaurants in Paris list, and I'll be sharing those with you in tip number 8. I know it's likely that just like me, you really value good manners. American manners, though lovely, aren't the same as French manners. Too often we hear people say, gee, when I'm in Paris, I just don't find people are very nice to me. When I go into a store, as soon as they learn that I don't speak French, they just don't seem to want to help me. So here is a seemingly subtle bit of French manners that all Americans will benefit from in order to be able to have a very gracious experience with the local French people. Here's how it works. In America, we don't immediately walk into a store or a restaurant and say, hello. We sort of go about our business. But in France, the very first rule to good manners is to walk in anywhere, a restaurant, a shop, and say, bonjour. And then it's equally as important, you wait before you pose your question. So you've walked into a store and you've said, bonjour. A lovely, generous pause before you say very politely, may I please speak to you in English? And I think you'll find that your encounter with your new French acquaintance is actually quite delightful. Many people go to Paris and have a list of places that they really want to visit. And very often, one of the items on the list, one of the places to visit, is the Louvre Museum. It's huge. It's crowded. It's confusing. It's intimidating. It's also spectacular. But it's really great if you can minimize the difficulty of standing in line. My husband and I don't use the pyramid entrance, which is the way most people go into the Louvre. Instead, we go into the carousel entrance at 99 Rue de Rivoli. Our most recent visit, there was a labor strike affecting people's ability to enter the Louvre. We didn't experience it at all. In fact, we didn't hear about it until the news later that day. Because we had used our sneak in the side door entrance, we were totally unaffected by the labor strike. So my suggestion to you is, if you do want to visit the Louvre Museum, sneak in the side door through the carousel entrance. Speaking of places to visit, I'm sure you agree that your list of places you want to visit in Paris is longer than your arm. Believe it or not, this past trip, we discovered a place that was brand new to us. The reason it was brand new is it only just opened in 2021. It's called the Hôtel de la Marine because between the end of the French Revolution and 2015, it was occupied by the Royal Navy. It was then renovated between 2015 and 2021, and oh my goodness, is it a little gem. It's located very near to the Place de la Concorde, and I will show you some images here. I can only best describe it as a little manageable Versailles. That's not to say you shouldn't go to Versailles. Of course you should. It's absolutely so spectacular. But let's say you didn't have a lot of time and you wanted to capture some of the spectacular interiors that you might see that would remind you of Versailles, go to Hotel de la Marine. They'll give you headphones included in the ticket price. It's amazing. It's a place I recommend. Don't miss the Hotel de la Marine, very near to the Place de la Concorde. Are you enjoying this video so far? Oh, I hope you are. If you are, consider subscribing to our channel. The channel consists of fashion and travel and lifestyle. To subscribe, you just touch the subscribe button, and it's free of charge. Thanks so much for your consideration. We're going to move on now to shopping and eating, amongst my favorite things to do while I'm in Paris. The next subject is how to be reimbursed for the VAT you pay when you purchase something. And boy, did I make a colossal mistake on our most recent visit. When you purchase something, you have paid the VAT, but as a visitor, you're entitled to be reimbursed. The process is you'll be given paperwork upon your purchase, and when you arrive at the airport, it's important to go to the VAT reimbursement counter together with your paperwork, and you must show them the item that you purchased. If you're foolish, like I was, and you put the item that you purchased in your checked bag and go down to the VAT thinking that your passport and your paperwork is sufficient to be reimbursed, oh boy, will you be disappointed. Tip number 5 is very simple. It's cash versus credit. Our most recent visit, we really came away with the fact that you do not need to buy euros when you arrive in Paris. Credit card is king, and we did get some cash, but we absolutely didn't need it. So in future, we won't even worry about getting euros before we visit Paris. Tip number 6 is, how do you suggest we get around if we don't want to use the metro? Our experience is Uber is easy, it's convenient, the people were lovely, and it was the same price or maybe even a little bit cheaper than cabs. So if you're looking to stay above ground, we would recommend the Uber. But if you need to get anywhere and you need to be fast, oh my goodness, metro is the way to go. It's the easiest, cheapest way to get around Paris. How to find the very best croissant, baguette, and crepe? Well, what we do is we use our eyes. We look for the longest line. So when we go to Paris, we tend to rent an Airbnb or VBRO. We love to be able to stay in a flat, have a little bit more space, and feel as though we're having more of a French experience and less of a touristy experience. We typically stay in the 7th. And in the morning, our very first morning there, my husband will go out and he will do some reconnaissance. And he puts in his very best effort, he loves this, looking for the best croissant and the best baguette. And he does so by looking for the very, very longest line. At 8 o'clock in the morning, the line that curls around the block is where you'll find my husband buying the day's baguette and the day's croissant. They are just the best and so delicious. The way you order matters. So if you are like us and you like to order a baguette that is very, very crunchy, might even be the tiny little bit brown or even a little bit burnt, we love it like that. We love it super, super crispy. If you're like us, you'll be ordering a baguette that is bien cuit, which means very well cooked. It is yummy and delicious. And one of our most favorite things is to have a really big lunch, and then at dinner time, just have baguette, pâté, and cheese, and of course, a beautiful glass of wine. Next is the subject of crepes. Now, crepes, the best crepes in Paris aren't really crepes at all. Instead, it's a galette, and it looks like this. It's made out of buckwheat. It's the Breton name for buckwheat is galette. We find they are just a delicious midday snack. I tend to love them with cheese and ham inside, They're beautiful. The original one was in the Marin, and it was called the Breizh Cafe. I'll be linking it below, but you can find them all over. We went to one in the 6th that was called La Creperie du Clown, the Creperie of the Clown. I'll be linking it below. It's just a yummy, very authentic, it was a little slip of a restaurant, really fun. So, as promised, tip number 8 is our 2 favorite new restaurants we've added to our Paris list. Now, it goes without saying that we always put together a list of restaurants that we want to try, and it's really no different in every city. We try a bunch of restaurants, and that means we have to kiss some toads. So in Paris too, we have to kiss some toads before we find a prince or two, but I'm happy to share with you the 2 princes that we did find on this trip. The first one was really unexpected. We had gone to the Palais de Tokyo, which is a beautiful museum for contemporary art, and outside on this gorgeous terrace with an amazing view of the Eiffel Tower was this restaurant called the Corail in English, Corail in French. Sorry for my accent, I am only trying. Very lucky to get a booking, and we had the most delicious lunch, beautiful, welcoming, kind, and gracious service, and as I mentioned, a spectacular view. So I recommend the Corail, and we'll definitely be keeping it on our list as a beautiful place to eat outdoors in the spring, summer, or autumn next door to the Palais de Tokyo. Second was a restaurant that we did book in advance, and it's called Le Comice, which is a pear. It is a Michelin-starred fine dining restaurant, and we went there for our last meal in Paris. We do enjoy having a special meal on our very last evening there. It's the meal where we tend to get dressed up, and we so enjoy reminiscing about the trip, talking about what we liked, what we didn't like, what we learned, what we wouldn't do maybe next time. This restaurant was such a joy. They have a contemporary menu. It's owned by a Canadian couple from Montreal. I'll put their names next to the name of the restaurant in the description box below. The husband, Noam, is the chef, while Etheliya is the sommelier, and probably one of the most gracious hostesses you'd ever want to meet. Because their English is perfect, it does tend to be a restaurant where a lot of people who are more comfortable in English than in French tend to go. She's very gracious in her ability to speak English or French to visitors to the restaurant. The food was so beautiful. The dining room was small. It was not in a touristy part of town at all. I'll list the address below. It was definitely a place that we had a beautiful, delicious time, and we're going to be keeping it on our list and would intend to go next time we're in Paris. That's it for me. I hope that you found this to be a useful, educational video about tips that you might be able to keep in mind for your next visit to Paris. If you found it useful, or if you think that you would enjoy a video on my favorite places to shop in Paris, please leave a comment below. I'd be happy to do a video on that. In the meanwhile, get up, get dressed, be happy. Can't wait to see you next time.